Okay, so our team call tonight is going to be talking about posting with purpose. So maybe not so much like how to write a post. That could be a totally different call, or we can work on that together because sometimes that's tricky too, just like how to format it and stuff. But this is more about kind of having your profile on Facebook or Instagram or both or whatever you're on, having that be like your storefront, and so we want to start like, especially if you're used to it just being like your personal profile with like your kids and family stuff and whatever you want. It is kind of a switch that you have to flip in your brain to kind of transition it into your business page. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight. So before anything else, we want to be focusing on sharing, not selling. And so we'll kind of go through that a little bit more. And I'm also kind of just going to be saying things randomly as I think of them and look at my notes. So it's not going to be like a proper like flowing call, but definitely like jot anything down that stands out to you that you're not seeing on your own page yet. And if everything I say, if all the negative things I say on here you're doing, it's okay. Like, because we all have to learn, we all have to start somewhere. So I'm also not trying to like single anyone out. So the first thing that you would maybe want to do is like audit your profile. Go, especially Instagram, if you have one, is the easiest to kind of audit, because I always look at what pictures I have, because I can kind of tell probably what I'm talking about based on the picture. And we want a variety. We don't want to always be talking about Beachbody. So first I'll just say like some examples of things to share. Of course, your sweaty selfies always. But don't just throw up the selfie and say, I got my workout in. I think that's okay at first as a new coach, and I know I definitely did it. But as you develop and grow and read your personal development, use that picture to be an attention grabber. But then what can you talk about? What value can you add to the people that are reading it? What tips can you give them? I feel like I'm drooling. My face is still numb. By the way, I meant to say this at the beginning. It's coming back up here, but it's still numb down here. So I'm talking really slow because my jaw hurts. Okay, I was at the dentist. I didn't say that. Anyways, now I lost my train of thought. What kind of value can you add to them, but use that picture? So it's obvious, it's going to be obvious that you're working out or you're doing something. They're going to know that. But how can you add something to that? And another thing, I heard this from Melanie Mitro, who's like one of the top coaches forever, talk about, or the sweaty selfie, like it's not just about you working out and like you, it's like what you represent. And it's like you being proof, that you're showing up and that you're doing this and that you're in the trenches and that kind of thing. So think of that, like that's your proof. And maybe some of you are afraid or like embarrassed to put a sweaty workout picture on there. Like I know that was a hard thing for me at first too. So again, think of that like this, you're showing your business, like you're showing what you're doing. So anyway, that is definitely one that you should have on there at least once or twice a week. You don't always need to be saying what program you're doing or like all of that kind of stuff. But like I said, find something in your personal development. Find something that you can relate to that person or to your audience about. And I guess it would have been helpful if I put some examples, and I'm never good at thinking on my feet like that. But I think you can get the point. So let's see what else I had. So we want to add value. And when you're reading through your posts, would you want to follow you? Like, Do your posts make you happy? Do they give tips that you would want to hear about? Or think about people that you follow. Or you can always like think of what made you want to like join me, or whatever. And I don't mean that in any way, whatever, you know what I mean. But think about other people that you follow, like what attracts you to them? What are they writing about that like always makes you want to read the whole thing? Make sure that your posts are doing that for other people. And the chances are, if it's something that's speaking to you, like all the time, like every couple of weeks at least, or maybe, I'm always writing something about like mom life, or like how hard the day was, or how big of a tantrum Rory threw or something, and I put a positive spin on it at the end. And those kind of posts get so much attention and traction and comments, and that can open so many doors, and that is what shows people that you are real, and that's what makes them like you and trust you the most. Some other ideas are like recipes, tips, even like if you're modifying, like you don't have to have your after picture and be amazing, like be in perfect shape. Share how you're modifying the move because you can't do it yet, because that is going to relate to somebody who hasn't ever worked out in their life way more than us like showing our six pack or whatever. Motivational quotes always, like, and some days those are really nice when you just really can't think of what to post. Like today I probably should have put up, I didn't even post today, I can't believe it. Or put your personality into it. It doesn't have to be how I post. It doesn't have to be how someone else posts on the team. So if maybe you're like, maybe you love jokes, or you want to get people to laugh, just find a way that's going to create the likes and the comments and draw people in so that they can trust you. Let me see if I put anything else. I said something you're learning on. And also how do you make time to meal plan or to do your workout? You can share all those kind of things, because that's going to like pique someone's interest who thinks they have no time, because we're all busy and we all have as much time as we think we have. So I've said it a couple times now, but the whole goal is to build trust and to draw people in. And before you even post, so some coaches are like amazing and on top of it and will plan out their posts for the whole week and write them all out. I've never been able to do that. Occasionally, if we'll have an idea, I'll write one out, maybe the night before, if it's like a really good one. But I will sometimes plan out like, okay, if I know our challenge group is starting in a week, then I need to have a challenge group like call to action post. And a call to action means you are straight up inviting them by the end of the post, and they can message you. And like, that's like a call to action. We don't want to have those every single day. So it's okay to have those sometimes, but we don't want to have them all the time, because then it becomes salesy. Most of our posts need to be sharing us, our journey, what we're doing, what we like, and all that. We are building trust. Here comes Rory. What are you doing? Go downstairs and ask Danny. Okay, I knew this would happen. Cool. So let me see what else. Oh, but I started to say that and then I didn't. Before you post, think through, if it's not planned out already, which it's okay if it's not, what message are you trying to say for the day? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What are you going through? Think about that before you just slap something up. And obviously we have days where it's going to be slapping something up, or maybe just don't post that day. But most of the time, think about your message. Think about your core beliefs. I've kind of learned that in the past, maybe like 2 or 3 months, that this year I learned like my core beliefs of what I've learned, and what I'm trying to attract is belief in myself and helping other people believe in themselves, and having energy and mental energy and then joy. And so those are my like 3 main words that I kind of figured out. And so even on days when I don't feel like it, I said that on my story today. Even on days when you don't feel the energy, or you don't really feel like you believe in yourself, or you're not very joyful, or whatever your words are, you still know that at the core of your beliefs, of what you're doing in your business, you still know that that's ultimately like what you're fighting for and what you want to portray in your message. So like you don't always have to throw up like how you're feeling that day. And I think that's something I had to learn. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's so good to be vulnerable. But like if you're in a season where every day is not good, you're going to start throwing out a really negative vibe, and you don't want, like, nobody wants to read that, and you don't want to attract that. It's okay sometimes though. So, you know, think of that message, plan what you want to get across, and then go from there. And like I said, there are probably other trainings, and we can always help, but the best way to learn how to post and to find your style and your voice, because we all have different ways that we're going to write. Like not everyone's a writer. Not everyone can just turn a metaphor into this amazing thing, like, but it does take practice, and you will get better at it, even if it's not gonna, like, I still compare myself to Sue because her posts are just like reading a freaking book. Like it's amazing. And I'm always just like, but I think I have still gotten better. And the only way that you can get better is to do it. And that's the only way you're going to get more confident, and to find, like I said, to find that voice that is you and that people are going to want to read, so that you don't sound like another coach, because you don't need to sound like another coach. You need to just be you. So I'm kind of wrapping this up already, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what a salesy page might look like. And so I know that none of us on here want to be salesy. Like that's kind of like a big worry that people have, is they don't want to just sell a product, So remember that when you post. And ads, like straight up ads from Beachbody, like right now, 30-day breakaway is out. And I think, now I will say this, I think there's a different thing that you can do this on stories now, and it's okay, but not if that's all you're posting. Rory, I can't help you. You have to go ask Daddy. But if you're just putting like a stock photo of 30-day breakaway, and that's all you're talking about on your page, then there's nothing different from you and the makeup girls or all the, and nothing against them, but share your journey about it, and you can find ways to word things and put your own picture with it, get creative. You don't need to use the ads from Beachbody. And like I said, I do think it's okay in the past 6 months, like with MBF and stuff, I started screen recording some of the like promo video. I was watching Christina Delgado. I noticed she did a lot of that, and I was like, oh, maybe that is okay. But it's never on her feed. It's just in her stories. And she also has 20 other stories that are her life. So it's just a blip in her story. It's not her whole thing. Let's see. Another way that it would be salesy, like I just said, is stop.
You said no.
Okay, then go back to bed.
No.
Is that
I want my bed snack.
You don't want to be always posting those call to actions, like I just said. Like it's so good to talk about our challenge group and to promote it, but if that's all you're talking about every single day, or if you're only talking about trying to get people to try your Shakeology every single day, that becomes salesy. Even if you believe in it, even if your heart is right, like, and that's kind of where it goes back to like doing the audit and seeing, okay, what did I post this week, and kind of make it varied. Also, okay, I said product pictures. Also using Beachbody hashtags. I pretty much never do. Like on occasion I will sometimes, like Ultimate Portion Fix or something. But Beachbody hashtags are just going to attract more Beachbody coaches who don't know to not put Beachbody hashtags. So it doesn't, the whole point is that you want to attract people in other ways if they're searching hashtags. So that's kind of a side note. Hashtag could be a whole nother call, but putting Beachbody or putting the word Shakeology and that kind of stuff in your posts and your stories, we can find other ways to say it to where people might say, hey, what is that? Instead of being like, oh, what Shakeology? Maybe they heard that, they don't know what it is, and they have a bad connotation with it, or they can go Google it and find another coach. So we don't want that either. And again, if you've done that, we've all done it as a new coach, so don't panic. Just like flip your cup around, don't show that, that kind of thing. And the whole thing, the whole reason that we don't want to do all of this and we want to share us is because ultimately people are buying you. They're buying me, and that sounds weird, but they can go, there's tons of ways that we could get workouts and definitely we can't replace Shakeology, but when they're attracted to you and what they're seeing from your posts, that is what gets them curious and gets them connecting to your story. And then that is what brings them in eventually as your clients, as your customers and your coaches. And so if you're not sharing about you, then they're not going to buy into it. They're going to be like, oh, this girl just wants to make a sale. She's just selling something, But if you're sharing your journey, they're going to see how real you are. They're going to build trust with you. And then they'll listen a whole lot better if you invite them to the challenge group. Be super passionate about your journey. Don't hide behind the shared posts and the ads and all of that. And like I said, there is a time and a place for those occasionally, but don't be afraid to be yourself. And I know that's so hard. That took me a long time to figure out, because part of it, sometimes some of us are on a journey where we're trying to figure out who we are. And I know I went through that for a while. But the only way that you're going to figure it out is to keep doing it, to keep posting, to keep showing up and imitate. It's okay to maybe not fully copy and paste, but to base a post or base that kind of stuff off of another coach that maybe you relate to until you learn how to format it and write it yourself. But don't be afraid of that, because there's somebody out there who needs you. They need only you. They don't need me. They don't, they might look at me and not get a connection, but they need you. There's so many people in this world, and that's just it. So, okay, I'm almost done. And then I mentioned this earlier about modifying and stuff, but show that you too are a work in progress. You don't have to wait to work on yourself first before you can coach. Show that you're starting, be real. And even though that feels even more scary, it actually gives you the upper hand, because that is what people relate to. Because they're like, oh, well, if she can do it, then so can I. And that is way more inspiring to see someone being vulnerable like that, than to just be hiding until you think you're ready, because you'll never be ready then, honestly. So the other thing is that in this business, if you want to be successful at all, you have to have a genuine heart in helping people and in seeing them succeed. And whether that is in their coaching business or in their their health and weight loss journey, if you don't actually care about them, for one, they're not going to stick with it for themselves. And then they're probably going to quit and then not stick with it for you either. And the longer you're in this, the more people that you have that are returning customers and coaches and stuff, because you actually care about them and you keep checking in with them and you are a real person and a real friend, and so just keep that in mind. Be real and be genuine and focus on helping people. And then the last thing that I said was create an environment where people want to come to your page on a daily basis because they know they will get help for their own journey. So they're going to know what to expect. Oh, well, this girl like posts these really good healthy recipes, or, you know, and that I always use that example because that's easy example, but whatever it is that you vibe with and that you are going to post, create that environment. And I can, this is going to sound really corny, but sometimes like I'll do the audit, I'll go to my Instagram, look at the pictures, and I smile. Like I actually really like my page, and it makes me happy, and it shows me like what my, you know, where I've been in my journey. If I scroll down and just see like, wow, I got so much better since then, or I can see like how much different I post or how my mindset changed or whatever. And so obviously if you're just starting out, like that's going to take a little time, but create that environment that you love, that you're excited to show up for, and that other people are going to be excited too. And especially this will be the last thing I say, is a little bit frustrating because I'll get a lot of no's, like no, they don't want to join the challenge group or whatever. But I really love and I really enjoy your posts, or they really help me, or I love seeing them. And even though that's frustrating for me because I want them to sign up, that is still cool, and that they're still part of my audience, and they probably will sign up someday. But I've realized that lately I've gotten a lot of that, and I like they keep liking it or they keep commenting on it, and so they're seeing it and they're coming back, and so in some way that's helping them. And ultimately, like if we have that genuine heart to help people, then it's not going to get to us and get under our skin if they say no, because we're still helping them and we're still providing value, and eventually they will trust me, or they'll be ready, and I'll be there, and they'll know I'm there because I'm always there. I'm always posting, I'm always showing up, and that's just what it takes. So I think that's all I have. I'll stop recording.